What I have with me today is a car which has got brand Audi a lot of attention when it was launched way back in 1998. And over the years, it has become somewhat of a design icon. Audi recently relaunched this car and they call it redesigned, re-engineered and reborn. And when I look at this car, I tend to somewhat believe it because this still looks very fresh and still makes a statement in terms of the design. The new Audi TT. The TT was one of the first cars that helped Audi make a turnaround in terms of the design after they hired J. Mays as their chief designer. And the TT, with a cute, attractive styling, caught the eye the most when it was launched, and as over the years it evolved, few of the design elements changed, but essentially it still retains its basic lines and the unmistakable TT flavor in terms of visual appeal. But this new one looks more wholesome and balanced. If this new TT here looks like a new car to you, then it should, because this is indeed a new car. This is the third generation of the TT and this one sits on a brand new platform, and the styling too is all new with a new front end which includes the grille, the lamps and of course the nose. The rear too has had many changes, but wait till I show you the interiors because that's where the biggest change perhaps is. In terms of dimension, this new TT is exactly the same as far as the width, height and the length goes. But the wheelbase has gone up by 37mm, which means more space inside. And the new design now looks much more contemporary, and even the insides have had a major change for the better. When you step inside this new TT here, one thing you're sure to do is like it, because this is where sports meets luxury. You have nice leather seats here, but they also have huge bolstering on the side to hold you during cornering. A real sports car-like feeling you get when you sit on these seats. A short gear lever here, but with chrome garnishing to liven up things. But then everything inside the cabin here is built to a purpose, and you can see it in the aircon vents here. Beautiful turbine-shaped vents here, but they also house the controls for the fan, for the temperature and the direction of the airthrow. The steering wheel here is small, leather-wrapped, flat-bottomed, very sports car-like, but it also has a functional element to it. It has multifunction buttons on it with which you can call up the information you need and also tune your radio. But the best part here is the instrumentational panel. Normally as a practice, Audi has the display here which slides out for their MMI, but not so in this TT. And this is really funky stuff. I'm sure you won't like it. Let me show you. The instrumentation panel is what really makes the TT stand out in terms of the drama it creates. The large display speedo and the tacho can be minimized if you want to use the navigation or even the radio. And the reverse camera display is here as well, and depending on your need you can minimize or maximize the display. And this not only makes the instrumentation panel attractive, but it is also very useful while driving, as you really don't have to take your eyes off the road and look elsewhere. Overall, the interiors of this Audi TT is extremely inviting and it just encourages you to drive hard. And then there are little frills like the Bang & Olufsen sound system with 12 speakers and the lights which are soft touch. And to add to the practicality, the TT comes with 2+2 seating which fold down to increase the luggage compartment. And the hatch is big enough for a weekend getaway with 305 liters of boot space, which too has increased in this new TT by 13 liters. This new Audi TT is powered by a 2-liter TFSI petrol engine, and this produces over 200 brake horsepower. Well, you might say that this 2-liter engine and this 230 brake horsepower that it belts out might not be enough for a sports car, but keep in mind the fact that this TT only weighs 1.2 tons, which means that this car does have a very nice power to weight ratio, which in turn means that this gets to the 100-kilometer mark in just 5.3 seconds. The new TT sits on an aluminum space frame, which is light and flexible and makes the chassis quite dynamic. And another area where Audi has worked on is weight reduction. And this you can see on everything from the seats to the alloys to the frame. Consequently, the new TT has become much more lighter and more dynamic in terms of handling. The only area where this new TT seems to have lost out is in terms of the ground clearance, as this one only clears 115 millimeters instead of the 160 millimeters on the old one. And the biggest addition to this new TT is the addition of the Quattro. Quattro means the permanent all-wheel drive, which means that this TT handles a whole lot better than the outgoing model. In fact, you can really throw her around into fast corners and she holds the line very well. With a short wheelbase, a lightweight chassis and plenty of power coming from the engine, this Audi TT is quite a nice, pleasurable car to drive. The engine is mated to a 6-speed S-tronic dual-clutch transmission with different options like sport and comfort, with paddle shifts for quick gear shifting. The TT also comes with traction control and electronic limited slip differential and torque vectoring to enable it to corner more like a sports car, and it is equipped with 6 airbags as well for safety. This new Audi TT here is a car which has got fun written all over it. And if you do happen to spend some time behind the wheel of this car, I'm sure you're going to be thoroughly entertained. Okay, the 2-liter engine here is not really monstrous by supercar standards, but then it does produce a spirited enough performance to help you dart from one traffic light to another with real ease. And the addition of the Quattro does improve matters in terms of the handling. And what I really love are the interiors. The interior's got that nice sports car-like feel with leather all around, a flat-bottom small steering wheel, and all the information coming to you straight from the instrumentation cluster, which is so very easy to read. The TT has never been a bad-looking car, but I think this is the best-looking TT ever. And in terms of pricing, of course, this is the cheapest sports car in the Indian market. So if a sports car is on your list, then I think you do well to have a look at this one. Audi launched this new TT this week and priced it at rupees 60.34 lakhs ex-showroom Delhi, which is very comparable to the outgoing model. But in terms of the car, what you now get is certainly a much more evolved package than the old one.